That's right, we're back. We're trying this one more time. Welcome to Boot Disc with the computer guys. I'm Paul, and over there across from me is
Robert.
Hey, we're taking it on again. We're going to talk to the guys that brought us Half-Life. Biggest game of the year, best game of the year, just all over the place. What, 30 publications, Robert?
Over 30 publications named a game of the year.
And we're bringing you the guys who we get to blame. We have in the studio today Gabe Newell.
Hi.
Robin Walker.
G'day.
And Jan Bernier.
How's it going?
If you tuned in last week, Jan is the guy who got the, was it 6,042 emails last week because he didn't show up, fool. So we sent everything to Jan. And, but, you know, I'm looking around the studio, Robert, and I see another body missing.
There is one missing, and that may be our email address of the day.
Yeah, it would be Mr. Mark Ezekiel, I believe, did not show.
That's marc@valvesoftware.com.
Yeah, no, I said the wrong name, didn't I? I said Mark Ezekiel.
It's Mark Laidlaw.
Mark Laidlaw, Mark Ezekiel County, Yosemite. Too much Sierra stuff going through my brain these days, all the changes they're making. But welcome. Last week we talked about some basic stuff, just general chat, touch your calls. We can do that again today. Today we're going to focus on what you've all been waiting for, TF2, Team Fortress 2. Well, maybe. The way we stick to an outline, the schedule, who knows. But today I did bring an over-engineered coffee cup, so we will not have the accident. It all started with a mishap, right?
Yeah, Paul's kind of the captain of the Exxon Valdez over here.
So can you get a shot of that cup here? Gabe is the cameraman. We won't tell the union you're playing with the camera there, kid. And then we go. It's horribly over-engineered.
It will not spill.
It will not spill. Someone spent way too much time designing this coffee cup. So, let's see, who do we have in the chat room? Anybody we recognize from last week?
Yeah, we should kick that guy.
Which one? Oh, the guy yelling www.tf23000.com. Okay, TF2 League, we get it. Yes. I can't wait until spring break is over.
Hey, Robin, you want to give people an update on where we are with TFC?
Yeah, we were hoping to get it out, press release version out for the press sites yesterday. That didn't happen. I'm sorry about that. It might happen today. It might happen tomorrow. We're in that sort of area right now of playtesting, and as soon as it's ready, it's out. And the LAN version will follow a few days after that, I hope.
Now, you guys planned, we mentioned this last week, you take the, once you get it to a point you like, you just play the bejeepers out of it for, what, a week, 2 weeks, and then...
Yeah, probably about a week. We've still got Jan's working on a few more network optimizations, which we really want to get in there, and we've got a couple of last-minute models to drop in. But mainly it's just play testing now.
We're still on target for Friday.
Ooh, okay, are you going to make that official, or...?
Yes, that's official.
Woo! We got a scoop again.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Next Friday, Team Fortress 2 comes out. It's Gabe, G-A-B-E, at valvesoftware.com. Now, Jan, you weren't here last week.
No, I missed all the fun.
You missed all the fun. We gave out your home number. We gave out your Visa card, your PIN, the whole 9 yards. So, hey, check those statements. So what the heck do you do for Valve? What part of this is your fault?
Well, my title officially is a software development engineer, so I'm a programmer. I write some code, mostly dealing with the front end and also in the networking code.
So just the code guy.
I'm one of the code guys. We've got a lot of strong code guys.
How many people are at Valve, Gabe? Some we didn't touch on last week.
Right now there are about 30 people at Valve.
Okay, straightforward, to the point.
Jan's background actually is as a patent attorney. He's the patent attorney who always gets mentioned in the list of weird careers people have had before joining Valve. He's also the author of BSP for any of the BSP fans in the chat room.
Okay, is that something you want to plug there, Jan?
Not really anymore. BSP unfortunately kind of fell by the wayside when I joined Valve. It was an editor kind of in the genre of Worldcraft, which is a Valve product. So it didn't really make sense for me to be spending my spare time working on BSP, as you can understand.
Especially with the boss in the room. Yeah. Well, speaking of Valve, we didn't go into much of the background on Valve, and I don't know how much you've talked about this, Gabe, but Now, Valve right now is, of course, its own entity, its own company, and it's working under contract for Sierra, correct?
We're the developer, and Sierra publishes our games.
Okay. And I believe last week you said you don't really know where you're going to go after this project is done, if it's going to keep going, or is that your dream to make games for the rest of your life, or?
Absolutely. Yeah, we actually know where we're going. It's just not something that we're talking about yet. Until the time is right.
Very cool. So at least we can hope for more cool Valve stuff in the future. You guys went down to GDC, correct?
Yeah, a bunch of us went down to the Games Developers Conference. It's probably the show that we enjoy going to more than any of the others. It's a lot more, developer-oriented than, say, E3 or ECTSR, which tend to be more for people on the sales and marketing side.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to see all the new display cards, got to see the new Matrox G400. The Permidia 3 had a bunch of 50-inch LCD monitors running Half-Life and Team Fortress Classic.
Wow.
They ended up winning best booth at the show, mainly, we think, because they played Half-Life and Team Fortress Classic all the time. Got to see the new TNT 2. They had about 8 slots for playing, and we had a couple of TFC matches there.
Very cool. So anything else cool coming up as far as conventions or showing off TF2 or any of your other stuff?
Oh, one thing that was fun at GDC was at the awards ceremony that we were at. Half-Life won a bunch of awards, including a fan award, which was really great because it's the one that everybody actually voted on the internet. So that was nice to see everybody turn out for that. I got to meet Mr. Miyamoto, the gentleman who developed Mario, Donkey Kong Country, Legend of Zelda, and all those. So that was great. It was fun to be a fan myself again.
Very cool. Yeah, I always forget about those games now because I don't do a lot of PlayStation or Nintendo stuff and involved with all the PC games, and suddenly I harken back to Mario and Donkey Kong and remember those days in the arcades and on the PlayStation and go, yeah, someone did have to design that.
It would be nice to sell as many copies of any PC game as Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. That would be good.
That'll be coming.
That's the next thing on Valve's list that they're not talking about yet.
The Legend of Gabe.
Right. A legend in his own mind. I think the benchmark right now, though, is actually Final Fantasy VIII. They sold 2 million copies their first day in Japan.
Wow.
Which means over 1% of the population of Japan bought that game its first day.
That's impossible.
Yeah, and then they actually sold another 500,000 in the next 3 days. So, when I think that's the direction that we're starting to see computer-based entertainment, whether it's consoles or PCs headed. They're starting to sell in numbers and generate revenue that's really starting to dwarf the kinds of revenue that you see out of movies.
Wow, more than the Beatles and Elvis combined. So, God, all kinds of stuff. Oh, talking about Half-Life, we've been talking about Half-Life for what, 3 years, Robert?
Pretty close to that.
Pretty close to 3 years
in a row.
Coming up on the third E3, I'm sure it'll have a presence there somewhere. And something I wanted to ask you is, the shooter, the first-person shooter is a pretty glutted genre. Everybody's doing a shooter. And you guys did it better than anyone I've seen since, and the world was backing me up on that. Getting awards, it's something different, something fun. I got into it. I don't like shooters that much. Why is this just something you wanted to do? Why did you or why did you decide on such a heavily produced genre?
It was the game type that we all loved the most, and was the game arena that we thought we had the best ideas for how to move it forward. I think over time, there's nothing that's going to preclude us from branching out into other genres. Right now, I think the two things we really want to focus in on are, the Half-Life style, science fiction horror, really immersive world, and then the social action, role-playing kind of experience that you get out of Team Fortress and Team Fortress 2.
Very cool. I'm not going to ask you any more about what you have coming down the pipe, although I'm really curious. So in this partnership you have with Sierra, did Sierra approach you, or did you come to them?
When Mike and I left Microsoft, the first thing we actually ended up doing was going and it's sort of a long story. I was at Microsoft and was working with some guys down at id to get Doom ported to Windows, because at the time nobody took Windows very seriously as a games platform. I mean, there wasn't.
No.
There was Reversi and Solitaire, and so I got sick and tired of everybody, pissing on Windows all the time as a games platform. So I called up the guys at id and said, hey, I've got somebody who works for me. They'll port Doom to Windows, because I just downloaded the shareware version and blew my mind, and said, and we'll just port it and give it back to you guys, and you guys can distribute it however you want. So that's how I got to know some of the guys at id. At the same time, there's a guy named Michael Abrash who worked on Quake, or who was going to work on Quake, who was still at Microsoft at the time, who's a pretty famous graphics programmer. And he and I would always end up in these meetings where the DirectX team was trying to convince everybody that OpenGL was a bad strategy and that we needed this thing called Direct3D, and Michael and I always seemed to end up being on the same sides of all of those discussions. So he went down to id, and when Mike and I started to start Valve, he said, hey, why don't you come down and see me again and talk to John Carmack and pitch us on what it is that you want to do. And so we went down there, talked about, Ken went along and was talking about skeletal animation and the kinds of things that he wanted to do to move that part of the game engine forward, and we left with the source code. So at that point, we had the beginnings of the Half-Life team, and we had an engine that we could build upon, and we started talking to the various publishers in the industry, and who will go nameless in this.
They're
radio
still
show.
crying about it, I think.
Yeah.
Well, you can. This is Bucas. You can say whatever you want.
And I had a friend in town, a guy by the name of Joe King, whose email I won't give out. And Joe knew Ken Williams on some sort of personal basis. And so Joe was keeping track of what we were doing with Valve. And every time I'd see Joe, he'd say, hey, call Ken. And then we go like, Sierra's not interested in action games. They don't do action games. They're the kings of the adventure game.
Much to Ken's chagrin after
since he is
passed
the man
Doom.
who passed on Doom.
Well, and that was one of the points that Ken made when we met with him. So my friend kept saying, meet with Ken. And so we finally set up a meeting, and it was in the middle of a snowstorm, and nobody from Sierra showed up to work that day except for Ken and a couple other people. So it was we couldn't get a machine set up or anything. So we were sort of waving our hands in the air and talking about, well, and that's what a bull squid looks like. And Ken basically said, wow, I had the opportunity to publish Doom, and, I'm pretty comfortable saying I made a mistake. And I'm really, Sierra really wants to get into the action genre, and you guys are talking about the kinds of things that are exactly what Ken thought were the right steps for the action genre. So basically halfway into the conversation, he says, okay, you're done. So you can stop selling me on Half-Life and on Valve, and I'm going to start convincing you that Sierra's the right publisher for this project.
Wow.
Ken is not the kind of guy that you fool twice. I don't think he was going to pass up another one.
No, he doesn't miss those things twice. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with the creators of Half-Life, Gabe Newell, Robin Walker, and Jan, I got to say it, Bernier. It rolls off much better. Because we tortured
For our
John.
Canadian fans.
For our Canadian fans. We'll be right back.
Oh, my God, what a mess. Johnson, what do you make of all this? Well, Sarge, years ago, when I worked security down at the zoo, there was this ornithologist. A bird doctor. Anyway, it seems he was fooling around with genetics. Penguin genetics. Splicing and mutating and hybriding and, well, some said he even wore frilly little dresses. Anyway, one night I walked into his lab, and it looked an awful lot like this. The peanut butter smeared windows, the cute little sock puppets, even the meatloaf crammed in every single faucet. If you ask me, I'd say it was the work of one of those beer-happy penguins he was messing around with. They're evil, I tell you, and they will never, ever... Johnson, get a grip. You're saying a penguin did all this? That is the stupidest, most ridiculous...
Possible ID. Suspect heading north on the 704. Please advise.
Yeah, and I'll bet he's short, bald, and has cute little flippers.
How'd you know, Sarge? Over.
Drink Bud Ice, but beware the penguins.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Karen K Show on Channel Z is not for everybody. We went out on the street to get a sampling of people that did not want to listen to The Karen K Show.
My name is Roger Right-On, and I'd like to say major, mega, massive ditto.
Do you have any spare change? I need nickels, dimes, and quarters. Melt them down for my special payment.
My name is Dr. Laura Massengill, and I think you should do exactly what I tell you to do.
Please, if your personality matches up with one of these people, make sure to do your homework during The Karen K Show.
Popping culture one water cooler at a time. It's the Karen K Show, weeknights on Channel Z.
So you're visiting San Francisco from London, and you're taking a lot of pictures.
Because we're here on holiday, we've got about 6 films and thought we'd just get a lot of snapshots.
So it's pretty sunny out here in the pier right now. And then, of course, if you go into the aquarium here, it gets real dark.
Yeah.
So you have to give some thought to film speed.
No, I'll just buy a postcard on the way out.
You ought to try Kodak Max, Kodak's maximum versatility film. One film for sunlight or low light, stills or fast action. Now, doesn't that make sense?
Yeah.
Think of the money you would have saved on postcards if you had this film. I mean, because you wouldn't have to buy the postcards after every place you go because you'd know the picture came out.
Okay, well, think about it. I'd like to take a picture of you while I'm here.
Okay, but since you're not using Kodak Max, maybe you ought to buy the postcard. Kodak Max, it's all you need to know about film.
Forget f-stops. Forget exposure times. For that matter, you can forget your camera too and pick up a Kodak Max one-time use camera instead. Take it anywhere. It's loaded with Kodak Max film, so no matter where you go, you'll always get the shot. Kodak. Take pictures. Further.
Welcome back to Boot Disc on Talkspot.com with one of our regular singers. That would be Mae West.
That'd be Mae West.
Singing Twist and Shout by the Beatles.
That's probably got Lennon rolling in his grave.
Spinning. But Yoko is going, that's not too bad. Ugh. We're talking to the guys who brought us Boot Disc. Brought us Half-Life Boot Disc, same thing. It all started with a disaster. And actually, we got some email from last week's show. In our Boot Disc mailbox. This is so weird, Robert. This is like how the show was supposed to start working, months ago. Hey, don't mind us, guys. Yeah, just go ahead and do the construction work. That's cool. Make as much noise as you need. It's cool. And, we're getting email, we're getting calls. This is too weird. It's almost like this is a real show.
I feel as if I'm hosting a show on the Internet.
It's really bizarre. I mean, and we haven't even talked about sumo yet.
Oh, we'll get there.
Yeah, yeah, we will. I do have a story from this week on sumo.
Surely there's a sumo character in Team Fortress somewhere.
There certainly is, and of course, don't call me Shirley. Let's see. We got one from John Fillers from Fort Wayne, New Jersey, who writes in and says, when will the mod SDK be released? And how easy can Quake 2 mods be converted into Half-Life mods? I think we talked about the SDK last week, and he wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, we talked about the SDK last week. Basically, if you need to get a copy of the beta SDK right now, you can by mailing Harry Teasley at Valve Software, which is HET3@valvesoftware.com. As for converting Quake 2 mods into Half-Life mods, it's not something we can streamline for you. You still need to code that. So what we tried to do with the Half-Life SDK is make it as easy as possible to create a mod and make it a lot more powerful. Through creating things like the client-side DLL, we give the mod makers a lot more power, as well as reduce the amount of information that needs to be sent over the network for them. We also spent a lot of time on the interface to mods, which we released information about that yesterday. Jan Bernier was working on that, so he can give you a quick rundown on it.
Yeah, this is something that we're pretty excited about, and we think the mod community, from both the end user point of view and from the mod developer point of view, are going to be pretty excited about it also. What we've done is move sort of the functionality of where do I find a mod, how do I get the mod, and how do I play the mod all into our front end. And essentially, we provide you a simple list of available mods. We, in fact, tell you a rating for the mod, how good is it, how many people are playing it, how many servers are active. So if you're looking for what's the most popular mod that I don't have, well, you can just go right in there and find it. You can download it straight from that interface, and it'll be put into the right spot on your computer, and you can activate it from there as well. And that's from the end user point of view, so it's really simple. And Team Fortress Classic, in fact, is a really good example of an end user mod. That's sort of the paradigm we've used to design it, and we've tried to generalize the way we've approached this problem in such a way that mod authors out there will be able to distribute their mods just like we've done with Team Fortress Classic as a mod for Half-Life. From the mod author point of view, one of the really exciting things is that mod authors will be able to completely customize the user interface of Half-Life. So for Team Fortress Classic, for instance, we have a new background, a new look to the buttons, new headings, new AVIs that play, everything like that, everything visual that they'd want to look at, but also to the extent that there was a problem in the past with mods having really complicated key bindings that need to be set up by hand, things that really frustrated end users. Well, mod authors will be able to stick that right into the front end with their own custom definitions, and when you switch to that mod, everything from that point on will be correct.
And as a mod author myself, I know from experience you get an enormous amount of email about your mod, and 90% of it is how do I do this? How do I throw grenades? How do I drop the flag? All these sort of things. And now that's just supported by the actual launcher, so people can just go in there and customize their keys for Team Fortress Classic or, Action Half-Life, just like they customize them for Half-Life themselves.
Right. One of the nice things that Robin may want to talk about a bit more is that when we looked at Team Fortress Classic, we looked at some of the shortcomings of Team Fortress, just anecdotal ones at least, and what was frustrating about Team Fortress and intimidating to end users. And one of the neat things that having this thing we call the client-side DLL allows us to do is to provide a little bit more information visually for people to know about what they're supposed to do in the game. And when you join a Team Fortress Classic map, for instance, you get a description of the goals of the map. When you pick a class to play, you get a description of what the class's capabilities are, what weapons they have. You want to talk a bit more about that, Robin?
Yeah.
I like the way you guys just keep passing back to each other. I don't know anymore. Someone else say something.
Hot potato. Well, I don't really have anything else to say about that, Jan.
Thanks, Jan. Y-A-H-N.
The client-side DLL is something that, as any mod author out there who's tried to do a mod for an existing game like Quake or Quake 2, it's almost guaranteed that if you tried to do anything, I hesitate to say interesting, anything where you tried to deviate strongly from the weaponry or the ammunition types or anything that an existing game uses, and you would have run across the problem that you wanted to display those ammo counts on the screen, or you wanted to show timers on screen or something. Now, Quake 2 had quite an innovative way of doing that. That was quite impressive considering for not having a client-side DLL, but the great thing about the client-side DLL is it allows the mod author to do that and to cut down on network traffic. You can customize completely how your mod, the HUD for your mod and how it works. You could do radar displays on there, anything like that. And while you can sort of fudge them in other sort of mod authoring platforms, in Half-Life, the addition of the client-side DLL means that you don't need to keep sending the data over the network. The HUD itself can be fairly intelligent. It can run its own code and be doing things itself.
Wow. Sounds like you've taken all the work out. And now this is primarily will help out the non-hardcore user, the people who are out there going, I don't know how to play mods, what do I do, that kind of thing.
Well, certainly the mod interface will, yeah. The sort of bare bones like the client-side DLL will help out the mod authors, not the actual sort of people who play the game.
By distributing mods, though, we're really trying to do as much as we can to promote all of the mod developers, because, it's kind of a vulgar way to say it, but suddenly Half-Life becomes this ad for their mods, which is something they've never had before. Anybody who has Half-Life can just go into this custom game screen and see all of the mods that are there, rather than, most people, much as we like all of the sites we go to, realistically, 90+% of the people who bought Half-Life don't go to any of the internet sites at all. And so this is a way for the people who are developing these mods to know that everybody who's got Half-Life is going to be able to hear about and download their mods.
Yeah, so that way the people don't have to actually search. It's just handed to them, take a look.
And they can see how many people are playing it and what sort of rating it was given, and say, wow, I've never heard of this thing before, but look, everybody seems to be playing it, and I'm going to download it.
Wow, and we all know that you're one of the people who appreciate just independent people making things on their own. I think half of your staff is from from people who have built maps and.
Well, it's
and,
nice to see that a developer is taking an interest in the community that's playing the game. That's I don't think anything like this has ever been done before, so it's pretty unusual. But there's a reward as well. If you make a really kick-ass mod, you might be sitting here talking to the boot disc people like Robin is right now, because your mod is the most kick-ass mod out there right now.
Now, is that a plus or a minus?
That's a minus, but it also means he's hired by Valve, so that's a plus.
See. There's a balance thing happening.
There's a balance thing.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of mods that we've been keeping track of, like the Gunman and Russian Front, obviously Action for Half-Life. And, you know, we are big fans of these guys, and we do want to see them succeed, because they're the reason that, you know, people are still going to be playing Half-Life, you know, for the foreseeable future. I mean, every time you fire up Half-Life, you know, you go away on vacation for a month, come back, and look, there's all sorts of new gameplay and new maps and stuff like that. So, yeah, it is a really good, we are really interested in supporting these guys.
Wow.
But if people keep playing this game endlessly and you've built in so much of a replay factor, what happens if you come out with another game and everyone says, oh, hell, I'm still playing this other one?
Not done yet.
Well, hopefully we're moving forward. I mean, Team Fortress 2 is actually going to be a much stronger platform for this kind of development, and we've learned a huge amount by doing the mod browser. You know, there's some things we want to do the next time around when we release it in Team Fortress 2. And I think we have a much clearer sense of the entities and the development environment that mod authors are going to want. You know, I think Half-Life is absolutely the best environment for add-ons that's been done so far, you know, especially in the areas that nobody else is even thinking about. But Team Fortress 2, I mean, hey, yeah, we have to make it better, but that's the whole point, isn't it?
Yeah, and people will still be playing it at the same time. Now they have two games in one.
Well, we'll have to do a Half-Life deathmatch mod for Team Fortress, and then people can just upgrade.
All right, we're talking to the development team from Valve, brought you Half-Life. We can talk some more about Team Fortress 2 in a bit, and we're going to take some calls right after this break. We'll be right back.
Nothing to see here.
Got quite an active chat room today, Robert.
We do.
Active, I don't know, kind of like an avalanche here. The one I'm just loving you point out, DR1516, saying Japanese ads are retarded, and he misspelled both Japanese and retarded.
But he got the R.
He got the R.
He got that. He could have just put the letter R. That would be Geekbonics.
Yes. For those of you that weren't paying attention earlier about the Newsy release, they already told you it's going to be delayed a little bit because they're testing it. Relax. It's fine.
The Newsies will get it before the public.
Yes.
Don't worry.
And you'll get it before the rest of the Newsies, because we're going to send Vinny out after you now. That's our public relations department.
The people insist that we take calls, Paul, and I hate to ever turn down the public.
Let's not turn down the public. Do you want to give something away now, or you want to wait till let's get these calls taken care of? Let's take the first one. Hi, you're on Boot Disc. Who's this?
Hey, hi, it's Derailed.
Derailed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Derailed.
Hey, what's up?
Well, but you called us, man.
Oh, yeah.
Hope you're not ordering a pizza or anything.
Yeah, if you're ordering pizza, get some for us, too. What do you guys want?
Wait. Oh.
Nothing? Okay. What's up?
I hope cheese, okay. I looked at those TF2 scenarios, like the Saving Private Ryan one.
Okay.
Or not scenario, but whatever the hell it's called. Oh, sorry. Whatever it's called.
Campaign.
Thank you. Sorry.
Are you
nervous?
I just... Derailed, are you nervous? Are we making you nervous here? Yeah, you're only talking to Gabe Newell and the guy from Valve here. They gave you the game. They made it. These are the guys. So don't be nervous.
Oh yeah, I've met them before.
Yeah, we won't mock you or anything, but go ahead.
Yeah, whatever.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Take a breath.
So anyway, I saw those TF2 campaigns. And I just saw, can you tell us more about them? Like, there's a Saving Private Ryan one, and I only heard about there's a beginning and the end. I mean, what kind of, like, are there, like, between little missions?
Robin, you want to try and field this one?
Yeah, I'll take hold of this one. We've got a few campaigns lined up. We don't want to release information on all of them. In terms of just a little more in detail on the Saving Private Ryan campaign, I guess I should explain what a campaign is, because it sounds like you're not quite sure. A campaign's a series of maps where outcomes and objectives you have completed in the first or subsequent maps may affect the situation in later maps, which means that if you might have to achieve this objective on the first map, but if you achieve these two side objectives on the first map, then in the second map you might have some advantages over your enemies. And so the idea is you play through an entire campaign of maybe 3 or 4 maps, with like say in a clan situation, and it's not necessarily the first or the last map winning that wins you the match. It's how well you do over the entire campaign. And so you might invest resources in your first map to achieve something just so you've got a better situation in the later map. In the Saving Private Ryan campaign, it's a series of 3 maps where in the first map, one team's storming the beach while the other team is holding the beach. The first team has to simply get past the beach and reach the safe zone, and they get points for every guy they push past the safe zone, and the defending team gains points for how far back they keep the attackers. In later maps, the attacking team has more lives depending on the number of guys they push through in the first map.
So it's a campaign, just like the word suggests. You're going through several maps to obtain objectives, and you got to think about everything that's going on. So I got your question covered, and there are some coming out, but they're not going to tell you what they are. You have to be surprised.
I want to know one other thing. Just how controllable are the vehicles? I mean, you can like control where they go, and what about the turrets on top and stuff?
You can do everything with them except actually jump in behind the steering wheel and drive them around. So you can use them for cover. You'll get deployed into the battle with them. You'll be able to target them against enemies. You'll be able to call in Apache helicopters to attack specific enemy positions. You know, you'll ask them to support your fire. And for instance, in the Saving Private Ryan, the attacking team has offshore destroyers which will shell the beach for them if they need it. Stuff like that. But we don't actually let you jump in that tank and hoon around in it. Sorry.
All right.
Well, everything but. Thanks a lot for your call, Derail.
Yeah.
Who else we got in here, Dan?
See you.
Hi, this is Boot Desk. Who we got on the line?
Is this me?
That's you? Hi, you. You know, funny, I thought I was me.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
This is Convict, and I have a question about Half-Life multiplayer.
Okay. Well, fortunately, we've got a bunch of guys from Valve here to answer the question, so go right ahead.
All right. Well, whenever I run Half-Life multiplayer and I get onto a server online, when I'm downloading the decals from the server, all the textures on the walls and stuff go all screwy. They like turn black or get all these multicolored dots on it.
It all kind of depends on what you were doing last weekend. Were you like indulging in any kind of recreational substance or?
Well, it wasn't the acid because I was sober at the time.
Oh, okay. Well,
what kind of a video card are we dealing with here, Convict?
This is a Monster 3D2, 12 meg.
Okay. It sounds like a pretty straightforward video issue.
Running the mini GL driver?
Yeah. Are you running the mini GL driver?
Yeah, I think so.
And this only happens in multiplayer?
Yeah, it only happens when I'm downloading decals on multiplayer.
Only during the download or after you've downloaded them?
It's during the download.
That's interesting. I honestly haven't heard this issue before at all. What I'd like you to do actually is to get in touch with us when we're off air, since it'd be difficult for us to kind of diagnose this without at least seeing a screenshot or something. So if you could email, I'm going to give out another Valve email address here.
That would be Mark, M-A-R,
Eric Johnson, and his email is ERIK@valvesoftware.com, and kind of describe your situation in your hardware. We'll try to work with you to figure this one out. Honestly, haven't heard it before, but hopefully we can. It sounds like a video driver kind of issue, so hopefully we can come to some resolution on it.
I have a question. When you're changing weapons, which is using the same HUD drawing code, do you see anything weird occur when you do that?
No, not that I've noticed.
It only occurs when you see the little thermometer on the bottom showing that the decal is downloading.
That's the only time it happens.
It also could be a resource thing, too. Another thing you can do is also email Sierra's tech support at, what's the direct email for that, Robert? Do you have that written down?
Just send it to adventure@sierra.com.
Adventure@sierra.com. They're handling the basic stuff that isn't like really code specific. So give them an email, and they can do the basic stuff for you. And if it gets real specific, you can email the person Jan told you to email directly now.
One quick thing you can try, just to see if it helps any, is that Diamond Monster 2s, if you have any of the newer drivers, are overdriven by default. So bring up your display properties window and go to the tab for your monster, and you'll see it should be around 93 megahertz is where it's usually set now. Set it down to about 90 and see if that helps any.
Yeah, that could do it too.
All right.
Okay. Good luck on that.
I have one other just real quick thing.
Okay, real quick.
I emailed Harry Teasley about the pre-release SDK like 6 days ago, and I was just wondering how long that takes to respond.
Harry's been down at GDC, but he should have gotten back yesterday. If you If you don't hear from him, send me some mail. This is Gabe Ed.
All right.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the call. Let's take one more, and then we'll go in and take a break and give some stuff away. Hi, this is Boot Disc. Who am I talking to?
This is Grifter from Fortress2.com.
Grocer? As
Grifter.
Again?
Grifter.
Grifter.
Yeah.
Did you see the movie?
No.
You should.
I got the name from a comic book.
Oh, we should see the movie. It's a great movie with John Cusack and
Cusack really ruled in that flick.
He
and,
did.
Annette Bening.
Annette Bening and I'm trying to think of
movies for an hour.
I think we should.
What's her name?
Movies are cool.
Yeah, and Angelica Houston.
Right.
Was in there. Yeah, it's a great movie. You should see it, and then you will understand your name.
All right.
So thanks for calling. Appreciate you bringing up movies. Oh, I suppose you have a question for the Half-Life guys.
Yeah, I'd like to know, like, what type of vehicles, like, you can drive in Team Fortress 2, and...
What is your audio working?
What do you mean, like, for real audio?
Yeah, for the show.
Oh, I got in kind of late.
Oh, yeah. How long have you been waiting on the phone?
Like 5 minutes.
We just covered this just a second ago here.
Uh-oh.
Uh-huh. You waste your time here, 15 minutes of fame going away, but okay, I guess we'll be nice and real quick. You know, what kind of vehicle?
Like, can you, like, totally control them and, like, shoot and stuff?
Yeah. Okay.
we just answered this
mere moments ago.
Somebody shoot me.
The other thing I didn't answer that you've asked.
You asked.
Was the type of vehicles. So I'll just run through a couple of those. We don't drive them all, of course, so we answered that. We use destroyers, a few different types of boats, amphibious landing craft, Apaches, troop carriers, 3 or 4 different types of APCs and trucks and that sort of stuff, and tanks. So, we use a lot of mounted guns, not necessarily on vehicles. Some are on vehicles, some are in emplacements. Use a lot of that.
That's cool.
So, there you go.
All right, sorry about that.
Hey, it's all right. Just turn up your speakers a little bit more and everyone will be fine.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Hey, guys, let's give something away. Let's give, what are we going to give away? Let's give away a game and a hat. A game and a hat package here. A copy of Half-Life and an official Half-Life hat with the lovely, what color lambda do we have on that? A white one. Wow, I don't have one of those. I just have the orange one.
I don't even have that hat yet.
Oh, wow. And we've been sucking up to Sierra for a long time here. Wow.
I even wore my Half-Life T-shirt to impress the Valve guys, and I don't have the hat with the white lambda.
Yeah, they're using these to mop their cars right now. Are you kidding? These guys work there. Okay, guys, trivia question? Go for it, Rob.
Yeah, I'll go for this one. What engineered building was removed between versions 2.6 and 2.7 of Team Fortress 1 for Quake?
Ooh, that's a good one. Give us a call. Only by telephone call. 1-800-485-1923. First one to get the right answer gets the prize. And, Robin, you going to go and tell Dan what the actual answer is? So he'll know that? All right, this is Boot Disc with the Computer Guys. Paul and Robert, we're talking to Valve, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Welcome back to Boot Disc. We did indeed. That was quick. Gave away the game and the official Half-Life hat. You know,
maybe the guy who got the answers from the UK, because they're 8 hours ahead, so they've already heard this.
Oh, that's right. You know, they heard the show early this morning.
Exactly.
God, I wish they would
kind of an
email
unfair
it.
advantage.
You know, if they would email it to us, we wouldn't have to do this every day.
That's true. We would know what we'd say way ahead of time.
More temporal weirdness for you. Do we have the winner online, actually? Hey, is this Neil?
Yeah.
Hi, Neil.
Yeah.
This is Paul.
Let's see. I had a username.
We don't use it. We're close here. We go way back now. We're giving you stuff.
Right.
I mean,
Fine.
geez.
Just don't take it.
You won. What was the building?
The teleporter.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
The teleporter got yanked. And so you won a copy of Half-Life, which you already have a copy, I would guess.
Right. I already have a copy, but I guess I could give it away or save it just in case it increases in value or something.
Ooh, yeah, don't break that seal. Don't break the seal. But you're going to get the cool hat. And the lambda symbol is actually embroidered in white thread, so you can like take a highlighter and change it to whatever color you like. It'll be custom. Yours forever.
That's a mod sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a mod sort of thing, yeah.
Right. I'm honored.
you sound like it. Hey, you also had a question for the team?
Right. Well, I'm an aspiring video game designer. So
I smell the suck up coming here. Let's go.
I was kind of wondering if you had already thought of the idea that I had, and that was.
You really want to announce this over the internet? An idea that you had?
it was just so good.
Okay. Hey, we're happy to hear it. If you're happy to share, go for it.
Right. Do you have any kind of acrobatic moves that the guys in TF2 can do? I was thinking that it would be kind of interesting if you hit the duck key while you ran, or the crouch key, if you went into a forward roll.
The Mortal Kombat version of Half-Life.
Well, not exactly like that.
But
did you ever see Wedge and Koryoth's Jedi backflip that they did for Quake?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. The only problem is that people threw up after so that was sort of a problem. We looked at a bunch of different, and we continue to look at a bunch of different control mechanisms. The problem is a lot of people were unable to master even the long jump, which we thought was a pretty conservative key combination.
Yeah, that's a pretty simple one there.
Yeah, and we get a lot of people who spent hours and hours and hours stuck on an island in Zen, unable to jump to the next one. So it's something we have to look at pretty carefully. In other words, we put it into the game not as a sort of an optional thing to do that would be fun for skilled players, but it was right in the game path. And
right.
A lot of people got to that point and then set fire to themselves. So.
Well, maybe they should have taken the obstacle course.
Yeah, that's what we would do. We'd send people and tell them to try the obstacle course.
I'm sure they did that right after they read the manual.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually a big fan of that kind of gameplay. We're just trying to be pretty careful about it. Robin, you were going to say something as well?
No, I wasn't actually.
Well, there was one more slice thing.
Yeah.
It seems kind of weird that in all the first-person shooters, everybody just runs through items in order to pick them up, and they keep going. It seems like it would be more realistic if you had to, duck to pick something up, so it would look like people were actually picking them up in the game.
I guess it depends on what type of game you're trying to make and where you want the emphasis on that game to be. If you want sort of a core part of the experience of Team Fortress 2 to be picking up items, then that would be a good decision to make. We're trying to make the emphasis on Team Fortress, the fun, the fun of being in a social multiplayer game, killing people with your friends, all that sort of thing. We're not too interested in trying to create a realistic experience where you have to worry about the exact number of clips left in your gun and whether your weapon's going to jam when you next fire it and all that sort of stuff.
I was actually down at GDC. I was part of a roundtable with most of the other first-person action designers in the industry, and it was pretty much everybody who felt that, realism is like a two-edged sword, and some things about realism add to the entertainment value of games. But when you find yourself writing grocery lists and going to the QFC to buy diapers, you've probably gone too far. So you really, I think Robin's point is pretty much dead on. If you're looking to build a game that's about physical motion and keyboard dexterity and those kinds of things, then creating, modes where you have to pick things up or grab things off the ceiling or doing backflips or rolls or things like that, then that's great. And, like I said, I'm a big fan of some of those games. Whereas Robin, with Team Fortress 2, is pointing out that we're really focusing in on more of the social and team-based aspects than the more keyboard-oriented key combination kinds of gameplay.
I was getting all excited about it, though, because I thought it was going to be really realistic, because I read in an article somewhere that you guys weren't a big fan of circle strafing.
Wait.
Circus dressing?
Circle strafing.
Okay. Well, circle strafing is something we're not against in a religious fashion. I think it's just something that, that's not the kind of combat we want with Team Fortress 2. I mean,
right.
I guess
we'd like somebody to walk into a room, start circle strafing, and then have two people set them on fire.
Right? Yeah, and he dies.
Right.
But that's not to say that we're trying to make the game a simulation or try to make it realistic in every way, shape, or form. I mean, realism's a great thing. It's a game in a lot of ways, but it's not something
it's a tool. It's not a goal.
Exactly. Yeah. And wherever realism fits into your gameplay, that's a bonus. That's an added advantage. But it's not something you don't crush your gameplay to fit realism.
Something else too. A guy I used to work with used to play Rainbow Six, which I thought was pretty much pretty much the maximum for realism in a shooter type of game. A lot of strategy, a lot of situations where, like in real life, if somebody's wearing a Kevlar vest but you put a bullet in the side of their head, boom, they're gone, they're dead. Games like Half-Life, like shooters, when you get to that kind of a realism point, the game's over really fast. There's you have shields and you have your health and you can heal by just going to a little thing and pushing a button. So yeah, I agree that personally for me, Neil, I like a lot of realism, but yeah, it gets to a point where it's actually interfering with the game and interfering with the fun.
Well, those were just some small suggestions. I don't want to.
Hey, we
I don't
appreciate
want to
it.
sound like we should have one shot, one kills and for everything and.
No, that would be unreal with a sniper rifle.
Morphine administering.
Yeah, actually, I do think that there are just looking at the chat room, there are a number of the mod authors who are actually here already, and I actually think there's a lot of room for that kind of gameplay. I mean, I'd get a kick out of playing something that was more oriented towards that style of play, and I actually think that the one-shot, one-kill game can be a really tense kind of game. It's very different from Half-Life and very different from Team Fortress 2, but I certainly would want to take a stab someday at designing a game like that, and I'd certainly play it if somebody did a Half-Life mod.
All right. Thank you so much, Neil, and enjoy that hat and enjoy the game.
All right.
All right. Thanks
Thank you very much.
You betcha. Hey, this is Boot Disc on TalkSpot.com. We're going to take a break back at the top of the hour and talk more with the guys from Valve, Gabe Newell, Robin Walker, and Jan the Strafer Bernier. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Boot Disc on TalkSpot.com. Yes, we are talking with the guys from Valve, Gabe Newell, Jan Bernier, saw that, and Robin Walker. Hey, something has just occurred to me, Gabe. Are there any women that work for Valve?
Yeah, there's several.
Okay, just checking.
I'm not going to give you their email addresses.
Damn.
Paul's gotten to the desperation point where he's emailing developers now in the hopes of getting a date.
Hell, I'm emailing star, so it's getting bad. Speaking of weird nights out, how's your St. Patrick's Day?
I spent the whole time working on the house.
You're not going to believe how I spent mine.
There's a gutter with your name on it?
There's always a gutter with my name on it. I went to a bar to have a pint of Guinness and wound up watching sumo until 1 in the morning on ESPN.
Well, somehow that doesn't surprise me.
We did one show. It was like an hour and a half on sumo. It's very weird, but I just thought I would bring that up just to mess up your world. St. Patrick's Day
brings up the question: is there going to be any sumo soldiers in TF2, and will they be wearing nothing but a mawashi?
Kevlar mawashi. Ooh, the power wedgie.
I think we're going to keep our class details on the added classes in Team Fortress 2 quiet for now.
I do smell a mod, though.
I smell a big mod. I don't even want to think about smelling and mawashis at the moment. Sorry, I brought the whole thing up. Hey, you guys want to talk about MRN?
Sure. One of the things
for you.
Yeah, one of the things that we just announced recently was that Team Fortress 2 would contain a technology called multi-resolution mesh. Sort of ends kind of abruptly there. Basically what it means is it's a level of detail rendering technology for models. So if a model is really far away from you, it doesn't take up a lot of polygons. I mean, it can be drawn without using a lot of polygons. But if it's up close, it can be very, very detailed. So what that lets you do is you get both performance advantages when you have a whole bunch of people on the screen, and you have quality advantages when things are really close. And you can build both creatures and characters out of it, but you can also build parts of the world out of it as well. So this is something that we are planning on doing over time in our engine development. It was probably going to take Ken Birdwell about a year to do, but we started talking with the guys at Intel who had a similar technology, and we said, wow, this would be, given where they are right now, we'd be able to get this into Team Fortress 2, and we didn't expect to. So rather than waiting and doing it ourselves, we went ahead and decided to use that technology and put it into Team Fortress 2. There are a bunch of screenshots we just released that sort of show you the difference in quality that you're going to see in Team Fortress 2 models from what you're used to seeing in Half-Life multiplayer right now.
There's one up on the, if you're looking at the full show right now, there's a screenshot up there at the moment of a soldier using I guess, the new detail, the high
Yeah,
detail?
what that's trying to show you is how a model mesh gets decimated as it moves further and further away. There's just less and less polygons that make up the mesh. And since, it's only taking up 50 pixels, burning 5,000 polygons to draw a 50-pixel model would be ridiculous. But that's the whole advantage of moving towards a scalable engine technology like MRM.
Wow.
So there are other screenshots than the ones that are currently there that will give you a sense of what the models are actually going to look like. So you can see those by going to any of the Half-Life sites and following the links to the pages that show those screenshots. So like Planet Half-Life. Well, there's one. Somebody's just put up one.
Wow.
So that's not a pre-rendered cinematic. That's what people will look like in the game. So it's a pretty big leap forward in terms of the visual quality that you'll see out of creatures and characters in the game. And then we can also use that exact same technology to build really detailed models of, I don't know why you would do this, but if you wanted to have a keyboard that had all of the individual keys accurately modeled, you could. And when it's far away, it doesn't burn a lot of CPU power. And when it's up close, you can see all the individual keys. So it's not just for living things, you can use it for pieces of the world as well.
So it's a way of resourcing or distributing resources for the video to where it's really needed.
Right. You basically spend your drawing time drawing the things that are close and not wasting things on objects that are so far away that they don't matter.
Right, and that will be in TF2?
Yeah, that will be in TF2.
Wow, and TF2 is going to be out when?
Later this year.
Wow. That's some impressive shots.
I've heard a few, I've looked around the message boards and seen a few people concerned about the fact that Intel's behind this. This does not mean you have to have an Intel CPU to use this. This is not it's not taking advantage.
Yeah, let me explain about that.
Call Oliver Stone.
Intel has a group called the Intel Architecture Lab, and a bunch of really smart guys, and what they try to do, to be honest, they have a totally venal interest. Their goal is to make games play better on faster CPUs. The problem that they have right now is like Half-Life. Half-Life, the minimum requirement, I think, was a Pentium 133. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have a scalable technology, the only thing that gets better when you have a Pentium 3500 is the frame rate. And what they decided to do was spend a whole bunch of money building technologies that made Pentium 3500s look better than a Pentium 133 without forcing the game developer to, redevelop their art for their game. And I think it's a really smart thing of them to do. On a Pentium 3500, the models, can be more detailed further away, and your frame rate can be higher. So, these kinds of scalable technologies are great for gamers, and they're great, for people who like buying the fastest hardware when it comes out, because the gameplay will be the same, but the quality will scale with your performance.
Wow, another excuse to upgrade your computer.
Now, Wedge in the chat room is asking what kind of 3D card was used to make these pictures. I assume this is some kind of OpenGL.
No, that's actually software.
That is a software rendering.
Wow.
Yep, that was done with a software render.
That's fantastic. It does not look like software.
That looks like a 3D card.
It looks like a 3D card big time.
Uh-oh, I think 3D cards are in trouble.
No. Wait
a minute.
We love 3D cards, but with good scalable rendering approaches, you can everything benefits. I mean, you get much higher quality out of software, and you're using your 3D accelerator much more efficiently for the things that you care about.
Great. Wow.
So will this also have an effect on the multiplayer version then, since the packets will potentially be smaller?
No, the network traffic basically says draw this creature doing this, and it's it doesn't really have any notion of at what resolution it's being drawn at all, or how many polygons are being used. That's all abstracted away.
Wow. That's great. I'm looking forward to that one. Wow. And a scoop. You guys announced it when?
I think we announced it on Tuesday of last week.
Wow. So we're on the cutting edge now, Robert.
We're in that envelope area again.
Ooh,
in general, I mean,
probably near the gunny label.
I think people are going to be shocked at how far this kind of technology is going to go in even the next 12 months. I mean, we're pretty familiar with it, and we live with it all the time, and I think we're occasionally surprised at just how much better things are starting to look.
So for those of you who are a little confused why Team Fortress 2 had to be a different full game, I think you're beginning to see that.
Yeah, this is a great example I mean, TFC is great. People are going to love it. I think that, thousands and thousands of people are going to be playing it all at the same time. But this MRM is a great example of exactly why we wanted TF2 to be a standalone game, because it gives us the ability to add this kind of functionality.
Yeah, back to just what Gabe was saying before, we live with this sort of technology all the time, but when we went into Chuck's office and we saw these models he was bringing out, once we told him what he was going to be able to do with MRM models, we just took a look and went, oh my God, because you guys out there who are all playing our games, you're all used to sort of 400 polygon guys running around the screen, and you probably never thought what it was going to be like when there's like 1,500 or 2,000 polygon guys running around. And if someone had told you that, you probably would have immediately thought, wow, I'm going to need one heck of a machine to run that. And that's what MRM's great for. You can have those polys and you don't need a great machine.
Yeah, the way it works is, let's say you're running and you've got a slower machine, and all of a sudden, 20 people jump around the corner. What we do is we look at what the frame rates are doing and then reduce the number of polygons. So your frame rate will stay pretty constant. It's sort of a throttling mechanism. That's what scalability gives you. You can sort of say, look, I want to run at 30 frames per second, and it just basically throws away polygons until that's what it's running at.
So the benefit then of still having a kick-ass system is that you're going to get a lot of polygons all the time.
Right.
Right. Wow. That's great. Wow. I can't wait to see this, because I don't know how to play this very well, and my computer is crap. So.
And on the selfish side, it means you still are able to sell to a much wider audience, because you're not ruling out the people who haven't upgraded recently.
Right.
They still play the game.
Scalable rendering is one of the most important things that's going to happen in the next 24 months with games. I mean, you'll be able to design one game and fully take advantage of a much wider range of hardware.
It's one of those times where the bean counters and the engineers are in full agreement that something is going to be good for the game.
Somebody make a mark on the calendar. Hey, we're going to go ahead and take a couple calls. And for you guys in the chat room going, take calls, we take them when we can. This isn't something like we plan. We'd rather have have Gabe and Jan and Robin giving us a lot of good information and chatting here online. We get to everybody that way. So be patient. It's fine. Put down the Mountain Dew. Step away from the keyboard. Let's go ahead and take one of the calls, Dan. Hey, this is Boot Disc. Who am I talking to?
This is Mwaha from the TF Syndicate.
This is who?
Mwahaha.
Mwahaha?
Yep.
See, that's why I didn't recognize you. You said it completely wrong. You said Mwahaha.
Yeah.
Come on, from the diaphragm. Let's hear it.
Mwahaha.
That's better. I wasn't going to take your call.
I see people mentioning your name all the time on internet games.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm quite a popular guy.
You are almost as popular as that band Special Guest.
Never heard of them.
Oh, you see them all the time on the posters,
What class do you play?
What?
What class do you play?
Sniper or soldier.
And what server are you usually on?
Taken server. I don't go by Mwaha. I go by Nameless.
Okay.
So? What's your question?
Actually, I have a couple of questions.
We'll think about it. Don't get greedy on us now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I just have to say one thing. Sergeant Cool Guy wants to know something about sheep or something, but that's another story. Team Fortress Classic and deadlines.
Best.
Do you guys ever hit deadlines? I know it's hard being a big company, but you keep missing deadlines.
Yes, we do.
I know, and it's getting kind of annoying for everyone, because everyone's just screaming like, where is TF Classic for the newsies? It's supposed to be out on Friday. It's Saturday. It's Sunday. It's like...
Welcome to the world of software.
Yeah, I know, but it's getting kind of a little annoying, because I hang out with the guys at Fortress2.com, and Grifter's the moron, but Striker, he had a LAN party today, and he got a copy. So why can't you give us the LAN copy?
Who got a copy?
Striker from Fortress2.com.
This was he was with Evil Avatar down to the GameSpot LAN party?
I don't think so. I don't remember.
Well, there have been two big LAN parties.
No, I don't think it was a big LAN party. I think it was like a small one.
Well, then he's evil and must be hunted out.
To us.
Yeah, I mean, the two big LAN parties we've done for testing purposes were the Extreme Annihilation tournament down at the CPL in Dallas. And then we're doing another one this weekend. Evil Avatar helped put one together for about 130 people. I think he's doing it with a bunch of the GameSpot guys. So if somebody else has one, that's news to us. And and we will look at the server logs and send evil things down their wire.
Well,
No, that
I
was
didn't say
Muhammad.
that. You didn't get that information from me.
Okay, we'll totally ignore you from this point on.
All right, that works.
All right, thanks for the call.
All right, thanks.
All right, let's go ahead and take another one, Dan. All right, this is Boot Disc. Who am I talking to?
This is Mulder.
Mulder?
Yeah,
I'm not going to make any Scully jokes at this point. It's just too easy. It's like shooting fish in a shoe.
I can't help it. Once it started, it just stuck.
I'm not even going there.
All right.
Okay.
First thing, I wanted to thank you guys. You guys have been great. Whenever I've had questions emailed, you guys get right back, and I wanted to thank you. Still having some problems with my cable modem connection, and I've been working with Eric and trying to kind of get some things straightened out, so I've been doing some research with that. So thanks again from last week. Question with Team Fortress 2, can you guys get into some details on the communication system that you're setting up? Because right now, a lot of my friends at LAN parties over the internet, we're using Roger Wilco, which is a great program, and it's getting so now we're like real dependent on it.
Yeah,
we can't play without it. It's just amazingly, decent for what it is right now.
Yeah, I actually got to meet those guys down at GDC. It's a pretty cool product. There definitely will be voice as part of TF2. It's one of the things that we think is really important to the social aspects of the game, but we also think that you have to design it in. We think sort of open channel, everybody yelling and screaming is probably not the best way to do it, that there are ways you want to use voice in the game design that we'll talk about more as time goes by, that help it support the social aspects of the game rather than just being a vehicle for people to rant and rave. But yeah, we definitely agree that voice needs to be in there. Robin,
now, is there another system that's going to be in there as far as like keyboard commands or?
Yeah, we'll still support all those existing mechanisms you're probably used to in other games, as well as a couple of new one specific new one that you probably aren't aware of. You've probably seen it working in Half-Life, where you've heard the bass voice, in the background and stuff like that. Half-Life actually has that sort of thing. Half-Life actually has a sort of a pseudo kind of text-to-voice mechanism. We'll be hooking that in so you can, if you don't have you don't have a microphone and that, you can still use that to talk voice to your friends as well and pre-bind that to keys and everything you're used to as a clan member.
One of the things we look at is that when people are playing, we look at what they're saying to each other a lot. And a lot of the times, the things that they're having to use voice for are things you actually want to migrate into the user interface. So if people are constantly saying when they're playing Hunted, Hunted is in the ruins, or Hunted just went into the alleyway, then those are you're wasting voice traffic by not coming up with some mechanism. The same way for the reason that you want to put in the compass that connects people to waypoints rather than having somebody try to steer that by voice, or positional information about the people in their fire team. There are a lot of things. Anytime people are using voice a lot for really repetitive information sharing, that's probably something that needs to be designed into the HUD. But even with all that, voice is probably one of the most powerful tools we have for designing a user interface, especially for one that's as socially oriented as Team Fortress 2.
Okay, last question.
Okay.
Can you get into the commander position a little bit more? Give us some more information as far as what
but enough of your
control that they
tawdry
will
personal life there.
I'm sure you've probably heard a lot about the Commander class. If you haven't, he's essentially a non-ethereal class, so in that he's not actually in the battlefield or anything like that. He's looking through the viewpoint of all of his squad members. If you've seen Aliens, he's like Gorman, the guy in the APC who sits back there with video cameras showing where everyone's looking, their heart rate and pulse rate and health and that sort of stuff. And so he's a pure communication and strategy class. He needs to make sure that the team, every sort of facet of the team, the offense, the defense, all that, they know what they're doing, what each squad's objective is at any point in time, and he's the guy who needs to react to, what the enemy are doing and where they're going and all that sort of stuff, and make sure that squad leaders know what their squad's supposed to be doing, and squad leaders can...
We're going to pitch real-time strategy guys really hard on this class, because we think that the things that they enjoy doing and that they've gotten good at are exactly the things that you'll be doing as a commander. So, in a sense, if you're looking for a model of, an idealized model for what a commander class is doing, think of it as a real-time strategy class where people are not so stupid that they'll set themselves on fire, which usually happens with my guys when I'm playing Command and Conquer.
They've got to kind of listen to you. in Team Fortress. You got real people you're dealing with, right? You can't just point the tank over there and it goes.
Right, literally, you point the tank over there, and then the guy says no.
Yeah, you're dealing with a lot of people who won't necessarily do what you told them. And if you try and send them in to attack an enemy position which they know is suicide, doesn't mean they're necessarily going to do it.
Right. You'd be like, I want AI now, actually.
Great, thanks, guys. And listen, if the game's going to be better because it's delayed, so be it. Have a great day.
Thanks.
Great attitude. Thanks a lot. Hey, we're going to take another break here, and when we come back, we're going to give away a few games, but we're going to do it a little bit differently this time. What we're going to do, we give away, how many we have left? 4 to give away? 4 to give away. We'll give away at least 2 of those to the best impersonation of a scientist in Half-Life. So only call in if you think you can do the scientist really well, because Dan's going to screen him, and he's a hard ass. He's not going to let you talk on the air unless you do a good one, because he has to take all the addresses down. We'll be right back. This is Boot Disc, TalkSpot.com.
Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts, ma'am.
Okay, we've got at least one. I only see one light flashing. Do we just have the one person? We've got somebody who's going to give us a shot at the scientist. Your best scientist impersonation.
All right, I'm going to do the...
You mood.
What?
You mood at us.
Right.
Hey, who's
Moo?
this? Oh, this is going to be fun. Who's this?
Okay. Hey, it's Derailed again.
Derailed?
Ah!
What are you doing back here?
I don't know. I just thought I'd stop
Security.
back by.
Security. Derailed's here again. Security.
Where's that Barney guy?
Oh, no kidding. Okay, well,
Derailed out of the chat room.
Yeah.
He wanted me to.
Okay, man, you better do a good one. Because there can people hacked off that you got in here twice, and they've been waiting forever. So we're gonna give you your home address if you don't do a good impersonation.
I just want to do that one, like, I don't know, right before the disaster.
Well, let's just hear a good scientist voice. So hopefully you'll get the quote right. Ready?
Quick, it's about to go critical. It's really bad, but...
You're right, it is. Uh-oh.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Don't give up your day job.
Fortunately, I don't have a very good one.
No, you don't. Yeah, and you don't have... We're not going to give you the prize.
How about a scream? You're being eaten by a bull.
Oh, yeah, give us a good scream.
That's a bad scream. That's not even a scientist scream. That's more like a, oh, dear God, Jason's after me with a chainsaw type scream.
How about a William Shatner impersonation? Do Tambourine Man will give you the game.
I think you're getting baked in the chat room, Derailed.
No.
I just wanted to Tambourine. Oh, my God.
Gordon Freeman, would you please go over and shoot Derailed for us? We'd appreciate it.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. Well.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to give this up, aren't we?
What was that?
Well, we appreciate you giving it a shot, man.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's on me.
Are you really looking for a game? Really looking for a prize? Do we have anyone else who's going to try this, Dan?
Somebody, please.
Okay. You're out of here, man. Thanks for giving it a shot.
Oh.
Bye. Hi, this is Boot Disc. Who's this?
Am I on?
Am I on? How
yeah,
are you spelling that?
All right.
Yes, I feel like Howard Stern now. This is great. Am I on? Yeah. Yeah, you are. Who's this?
This is Kami.
Kami, not am I on?
Right.
Okay.
It's Kami.
Do you have a good scientist impersonation for us?
Yeah, this is the best line, that's the best spoken line in video games ever.
Okay.
They're waiting for you, Gordon, in the test chamber.
Very good.
Okay. Universal applause from Valve.
Yes, I like that. You guys, we'll give him a game for that one. Sure. Go ahead and talk to Dan for a little bit. He'll get your vital stats, and we'll send a game out to you. Thanks for playing. You know, you guys in the chat room and listen to audio, unfortunately, we don't have a camera on Gabe because we tried to put one on there, and the daggers that shot out kind of pinned Robert to the back wall. But the whole time he's just pounding his head on the desk on his arm going, oh, God. Can I go code something, please? Oh, man, that was great. So we got we'll take one more. Is this another? Are you going to give us a scientist impersonation?
Hello?
Hello? Yeah? Hi. Who's this?
I don't think I can beat the last guy.
Well, we won't put you in a steel cage with him, okay? Who's
Okay.
this?
Let me think.
Let me think. That's who you are?
You got any ideas of,
Gordon Freeman, you're a real pretty mouth. No.
Let me think.
We're supposed to think before
How about
an entire commercial break to think about this before you came in, and now you're going, and you haven't even told us who you are yet. I'm going to start calling you Betty.
No thanks.
Well, who are you?
Low 2000, that's the screen name I go by.
Low 2000.
Yeah.
Low 2000. You sound like a stock market report.
Well.
Who? Oh, he crashed. Oh, no.
Okay, this is my first time calling this. You can probably tell.
Oh, that's okay. This is our first time doing a talk show, so we're pretty much in the same boat. Okay, this is your chance. Take a deep breath, and the next phrase out of your mouth is going to be your impersonation.
that if you, in case you didn't quite get it, was when a shit scientist is shot in the foot or something.
You know, I don't care. That was great. We'll send him one for that. We're going to send you a game and a Half-Life hat for that. Oh, can you believe some people make a living at this, Robert?
Not us.
We got to negotiate our contract. All right, thanks a lot. Talk to Dan. He's going to get your vital stats. Oh, man.
We do, when we go to our next giveaway, we had someone bring up in the chat room that we promised something last week, and we've got to live up to our promises.
What's that?
We promised that we would ask who the most tattooed man at Valve is for a prize.
That's right. We told him last week.
Yes, we did.
Oh, it was Harry Teasley.
Oh! You weren't supposed to say it.
Oh. I got it right.
Well, who said that?
So Gabe wins a free Half-Life.
Thank you. Who said it in the chat room?
Someone said it right now.
Okay, well, they're not paying attention anyway. That's great. I love this job. Okay. Whoever can call in with the most tattooed man at Valve will also win copy of Half-Life and the hat. Now they're going to be going, what did you say? What did you say? So you can't back up video like you can chat. So I guess that's kind of giving them a break. That kind of whipped right by. So, yeah, give us a call, 1-800-485-1923 if you know who the most tattooed man at Valve is. And, you know, we've got to get a picture on the website somewhere of this now.
And one more question from the chat room, which we will not give a prize for, but someone asked a valid question a little while ago, two of them actually. One person asked what kind of educational backgrounds you have.
Hey, there's a good question.
That's a good question. And the other one was, how many man hours have been spent on Team Fortress Classic? A free game, how many man hours have you put into that?
Let's just say it's probably the most expensive free game you're ever going to get in your life.
I don't think you're going to find a lot of other companies jumping on this free game bandwagon in the future.
I don't think so. So what, about 2 man years on this thing?
I'd have to actually think about it, but it is a lot of work has gone into Team Fortress Classic. And what was the other question?
The kind of educational backgrounds you have at Valve.
I dropped out of college.
I'm severely overeducated.
I dropped out of college too.
Does that mean I can be a developer then?
You too can be a developer. As long as you can say pepperoni or sausage on that. So
I was actually on a leave of absence from Harvard when I ended up at Microsoft, where my brother was working there, and I just sort of dropped by and they said, every time I said it's time to go back to school, they sort of said, well, are you sure? And eventually they stopped saying it, and school stopped sending me my tuition bills. So, although that wasn't that long ago.
Boy, yeah. Well, yeah, you're just a young pup there.
Yeah. Mike, who's the other founder, dropped out of University of Oregon. So there's a theme here.
So the thing is, you have to drop out of a really fine college if you're going to develop games.
Actually, this is Jan. I actually finished Harvard and finished law school, so you can give Gabe a hard time now.
Finished Harvard. Ooh.
With a degree in chemistry, which I put to use every day when I program for Half-Life.
Yeah, we can tell because you're.
Yeah, but he wasn't staying in a real river house.
Ooh.
So did you know Mira Sorvino while you were going there?
I did not.
That's a shame.
Well,
that's
so
the one valid reason I can think of for going to Harvard. A really valid reason.
Yeah, well, the bagels are good too.
Okay.
I went to school at Boston University and dropped out. Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Want to come work for us?
Hey, yeah, sure.
I got thrown out of the University of Washington. I always tell Cougar fans, I've been kicked out of better colleges than that.
Ooh.
So maybe that qualifies for a position somewhere.
Nice.
So we have, I think what Brett has is in the middle of dropping out of RIT in a RPI in a biochemistry program. Hai Han, who just started working at Valve, has a PhD in biochemistry.
Wow. So you've got to do a lot of chemicals or drop out of college or both to work at Valve. Now, this is a horrible precedent for all these parents who have kids on the internet saying, what are you going to do? Just play games all your life? What are you going to do, drop out of college? What will ever become of you? You won't make anything of you. I'd like to introduce you to Gabe Newell, please, and the Valve team. That just argument went out the window. We got another one, Dan? So we got here.
This will be the guy answering the tattoo question.
Oh.
Hello?
Okay. Hi, who's this?
Joe Hose.
Again?
No, this is the first time I've called in.
Oh, good. What's your name?
Joe Hose.
Joe Hose. Can you spell that?
Johos.
Joe Hose.
What does it mean?
I don't know. It's just a name I picked out. It's one of those things it's hard to think of.
Random. That's good.
I thought it was Hojo spelled sideways, and I was going to say that's pretty cool, but it's
backwards,
so cool.
it's the Hodge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you called in to tell us who the most tattooed guy at Valve is?
Yes.
Who is it?
Harry Teasley.
Yep.
We have a winner.
Now, did you know that, or did you know it before?
Gabe blurted out.
I got it last week. You said it at the end of the show.
Did you? Okay, well, who else was on the show
reward
last
people
week?
who pay attention.
What?
Who else was on the show last week that isn't here?
Jan.
No, Jan's here.
Well, he wasn't there last week.
Okay, well, now we know he was listening. So, okay, we'll give him the prize. We'll give him
Passed
the
the
gift.
third degree.
He has. All right, Dan will take your information there. Thank you, Yo Host.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.
I have another question in the chat room. They want to know what that red thing is on the screen right now. On the, I think the left side is what they're referring to.
That's spot.
That is a 2-year-old screenshot.
Yeah. Did that ever show up in the game?
That screenshot? No.
No, that critter.
The Panther Eye? No, the Panther Eye wasn't in the game.
Yeah, I remember seeing a real early beta, and it was in there just kind of walking around. You could shoot it till it died.
It was
really cool.
It was such a compelling experience. We thought we'd taunt people and save it up for some future game when we're running out of good ideas.
Ooh, sounds like dating in the 80s. Okay, what are we going to do now? Dan's taking... We're going to take a break, but Dan is taking information from someone else here. What was I going to say? It was about parents again, but it's gone. Dan, you want to throw one more call at us? Yeah, he doesn't know what we're doing. This is Boot Disc, everyone.
Talking to Yo Host, man.
Talking to Yo Host? I got
Yeah,
the
we
Yo
got a
Host
call.
right here.
Here we go.
All right, we got one more call. Who's this?
Yeah, this is Nut Satchel.
Is it now?
Yeah, how's it going?
Your parents are proud, I'm sure. What's up?
Actually, this was my dad's handle before it was mine, so they are proud.
Ooh.
Oh, my God. Chip off the old nut.
Yeah. Shells laying about. Okay, Nut Satchel, what's up? What question you got?
I want to know about crawling in TF2. Are you guys going to put that in?
Crawling?
Yeah.
We're looking into crawling and laying down as features in TF2. One of our sort of major issues is whether we can do it with the animation system. We want it to. It's got to look correctly. I don't know if you've seen it laying down implemented in any other mods out there at the moment, but you'll probably notice that the entire body rotates and that sort of thing. It's not an easy thing to solve technically, and we're not going to include it unless we do solve it.
So it's either going to be stellar or not in there, which I think is kind of cool.
That's pretty much our whole philosophy. You do it right or you don't do it at all.
All right, and one more question. What about name fun in TFC?
Name fun?
Yeah, like fun names. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
Not me. I'm just the host over here.
Yeah. We'll support it if Half-Life supports it. How's that?
He's passing the buck. He's pointing at Jan right now. And
It's
Jan's
an
like,
overhead smash to the other end of the court.
I can pass the buck back to John Cook, the other Team Fortress Classic programmer.
John.
Let's be clear about this, actually. With the ability to customize the client DLL, I think a mod author could implement the fun names if they wanted to. We haven't chosen to do it in Half-Life, and I don't believe it's in Team Fortress Classic, but it'd be simple for a mod author to do.
Yeah, the reason we're not prepared to you do that in Team Fortress Team Fortress Classic, is because we need those extra characters in the font to do our localized version. So we need for our German, French, Italian versions of Team Fortress Classic. And if a mod author doesn't care about his mod and is happy for it only to work in English, then he's able to override that font easily and do name font.
all right.
Okay, well, thanks a lot for the call.
All right, later.
All right. This is,
You have it right here. We blame the foreigners for that one.
yeah.
Actually, if there are any non-North American people in the chat, if you could just mention something, I'm just sort of curious to see how many people outside of North America are listening. So
Okay.
just say something in the chat lines.
Hey, Dan, why don't you throw up a poll asking how many people outside of North America, if you're listening right now, and sit in the chat room. Let's see how many people from off the rock are actually being corrupted by this. We haven't really hacked off anyone from around the world of this show.
Did see a couple of UK people in there a little earlier.
Yeah, we'll make sure we annoy them.
They're the ones who didn't think Robin really had much of an accent.
Yeah, yeah, but he drinks a lot. This is Boot Disc on Talkspot.com. We're going to continue chatting with the guys from Valve. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Boot Disc. Talkspot.com, but you already knew that because you're listening. And you also know that we're talking to developers of Half-Life from Valve.
And Team Fortress Classic, and soon Team Fortress 2.
And just a bunch of other stuff which you don't want to tell us.
And the secret game that will outsell Zelda is coming down the line.
Secret game, the mystery game. I think Manload's going to be in that one, but...
Oh, I hope not.
No, don't want to hear about Tommy anymore. Hey, we got a couple more games to give away. We're going to go ahead and knock those out right away. We're going to throw 2 more questions at you, and you have to call in at 1-800-485-1923. The first one is... Gabe, go ahead and do that one. The award.
Okay.
Oh, no. Deer in headlights.
No, I thought you were going to do this. Actually, what was the sponsor for last week's show?
Yeah. You had to be here last week. Oh, bummer. Paying attention again. So Gabe wants to make up for blowing the last one of the tattoo guy. So we had to have another question from last week. So remember the sponsor from last week? Call us in. Call in, let us know.
It's worth a game.
It's worth a game. And God, I forgot what the other question was. They won't know about the award that you didn't get at GDC. Really? They won't know that. That was last week. What the hell? Go for it. And the other question is, there are no rules here. We're not regulated. Was what award did Half-Life not receive at GDC last week? That's it. Call in. Oh, wow, there's only 2 lines flashing. That's great. Some guest Nick says, who's the Valve speaker? Specker. No, Guest Thunder. Guest Thunder. What is up with you? Knock it off. What time of day is going to be released on Friday? How long have you been playing computer games? How long have you been on the internet?
It's either going to be daytime or nighttime. That's all I know so far.
Yeah, sometime between midnight and midnight, give or take a week.
Don't you know us game developers sit there ready with the release, waiting until the exact minute we're ready, and at 3:43 on Friday PM, we'll rush out
and push that button, and there it is. It's released on the internet. They'll run around in their little FedEx vans delivering CDs across the land like Santa Claus. Oh, jeez.
Prepare to be astonished.
Yeah, when it doesn't show up at the exact moment you expect. This is a software business, guys. Hello, it's games. Remember what Robin said? They do it right or not at all. So if it's delayed, that's why.
We do it right or it's a year late.
Do it right or do it later. Okay. Hi, who's this?
Hi, this is Anton from Huntsville.
Anton?
Yeah.
From Huntsville. How you doing, man?
It's going pretty good.
Good. What's up?
Not much.
Huntsville, Alabama?
No, Huntsville, Ontario.
Oh,
up in Canada.
Oh, good. Another country we can hack off.
I was going to say you're doing a terrible Southern accent.
Yeah.
Unless it's Southern Canadian.
And it would be.
Yeah, South Central Ontario.
What's up?
I got the answer for the sponsor thing.
Okay, and who was it?
Game Cave.
We have a winner.
We have a winner. This is so weird, Robert. People listen 2 weeks in a row?
They paid attention and everything.
Oh, wow. You didn't know you were going to be tested, did you?
Most of these people are going to pass the written exam that comes later.
I think so, but of course they have to pay the tuition fees.
Hey, the BioWare guys had my favorite quote from the GDC Spotlight Awards. It was, Canada rocks. That was their acceptance speech.
That's better than the States.
Okay, you don't get the prize now, dude. Whoa, boy, did you blow it.
I take it back.
Don't
make me destroy you.
Okay, well, for the sake of international relationships, we'll let you have it. Thanks a lot for calling in. Dan's going to take your vital stats.
Okay.
All right.
Next time we make him sing "Oh Canada" and see if he actually knows the words.
To the fourth verse.
Right.
All right. I guess no one's going to call in on the other one. Val, what's the average FPS for TF2 with the Voodoo 2? Oh, we got that written down somewhere. Hang on. Let me look here. 42 frames per second, I believe, is the exact average you worked out right before you figured out when exactly you're going to release the product?
It depends upon how fast he's running his front side bus.
Ah. Anyone else we can make fun of here? We've been talking about Half-Life with the guys from Valve for 2 shows now. We're getting a little punchy, and we're pretty much going to make fun of anything at this point, so make comments at your own peril. But I didn't spill my coffee this time. See, maybe we should just call the advice people on the other line. Hey, Dan, you want to throw another call at us? Hi, you're on Boot Desk. Who am I talking to?
This is Nuker.
Nuker, spelled N-E-W-K-E-R?
No, N-U-K-E-R.
Oh, I'm just making fun of you here. What's up?
Doing pretty good.
Well, that wasn't really the question, but I guess it could be taken that way. I'm not going to ask what's up anymore. If they're going to say, good, thanks. Oh, it's a mental picture I didn't need. What's your question?
I was going to answer the first question, but that was already answered, right?
Yeah, right. Do you know the second one?
No.
No.
You have another one?
Can you do an impersonation of a William Shatner?
William Shatner?
Yeah, you know who that is?
Okay, I'll give you an alternate question.
Okay, a direct one from Gabe. Here you go, man. Be proud.
Ready?
Yeah.
What city will Robin and Maggie get married in? That would be Robin Walker.
That's, yeah, one of the guys here in the room. Take a shot at it, man. This is for the game. Version of the home game. Eskimo Pies. Come on, you can do it.
It's not Seattle. That's just a hint.
Los Angeles?
Los Angeles? Well,
no.
Close. No. But a good guess. Oh, the buzzer doesn't work. On the stinger, I was going to give him the buzzer. There, that's even better. No, didn't make it, man. Thanks for calling, though.
Okay, you welcome.
Bye. Throw another one this way. What the hell? Hi, you're on Boot Desk. Last game. Do you know what award that Valve did not get at GDC? Hello? I'm hearing a delay in the background.
Hello?
Hi, who's this?
Hey, I wasn't calling to answer the question. I didn't hear the question.
Which one?
But, I was calling to ask a question.
Okay.
About the configs. I have like this huge script. I wrote it all for Team Fortress.
Cool.
I was wondering about the compatibility, if I could just like move that over to Half-Life, or I'd have to rewrite like all kinds of new commands.
We tried to keep as many of the originals there, but you know, you're going to have to rewrite some of it. You can't just copy that config over and exec it and expect it to work.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Does anyone else want this last game? I don't think so. Throw another one in here. Hi, you're on a Boot Desk. Who's this?
Me?
Hi, me.
Oh, I figured you'd screen it first. this is Suicide.
Hi, Suicide. Don't do it, man.
Huh?
Don't try suicide. Nobody's worried. Don't try
Suicide.
suicide.
With an SL?
Oh, Suicide. I was going to quote Queen, man in there. Hey, where are you from?
I'm from Oklahoma. Well, actually, I live in Kentucky right now, but...
All right. And you're calling in to try to win the prize or to ask a question or what?
Actually, I have a few questions for Gabe.
Well, we got about 30 seconds left here, so make it a quick one, or you can try and win the last game we have.
Okay, first one is it Half-Life, the game?
Is Half-Life a game?
The game that I'm winning.
Yes,
I already have
Half-Life, an official Half-Life hat.
I already have an official Half-Life hat.
Okay, well, thanks anyway.
No, wait.
Who do we got next? Hi. Hello?
Oh, hi.
Hi.
I had a question about Team Fortress 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, actually, we're not taking any more questions on Team Fortress. We're trying like hell to give away this game. Do you want it or not?
Well, I already won a game.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll talk to the next person then. Thanks.
Yeah, okay.
Hi, you're on Boot Desk. Hello?
That's all of our callers.
Oh, that's it? They all went away. Okay. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Ah, like eggs out of a goose. So go the time of our lives. Well, we're not going to give away the other game, I guess. You guys want it? You guys want a copy? You got 2 more games to give away?
No, we have 2 more minutes.
Ah. Anything you guys want to wrap up with? It's been two long Saturdays here. We've just been rambling on.
Well, thanks for hosting us. It's great to see everybody turn out.
You're welcome. You guys can come back anytime and talk about whatever's coming up next, or just come in and hang out and abuse these people. These are great. This is a lot of fun. We've been talking with Gabe Newell from Valve, Jan Brezhnev Bernier, Robin Walker, who's getting married apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, when?
Depends when TFC's out.
Ow!
How romantic.
Oh, man, so much for that.
Does that mean we're not going to work that hard? You're not that excited to get it out the door, Robin? Are you trying to tell us something?
Hey, it was nice while it lasted, huh, Robin?
Robin is a really spectacular red color right now, especially since his fiance is in the chat room.
She can call in.
Yeah, actually, Maggie, call in.
1-800-485-1923, Maggie. If you can get in the next minute, you can let you give him grief, because obviously you just put the game ahead of your wedding, but I'm not saying anything on that count. It should be she must be golden, Robin. She must be golden.
I'm a dead man tonight.
Oh, you are so dead. All right, everybody, this has been our Half-Life special, talking to the guys from Valve, answering your questions about TF2 and the upcoming stuff with Valve. I'm Paul.
I'm Robert.
This is Boot Disc on Talkspot.com. We'll be back next week at 2 Pacific time. Thanks for coming on in. See you later.